The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, senior writer at The Spin-off. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Alex.
Yes.
Alex
Okay.
Jane. Do you copy? Where's your radio? Come on in.
Jane, Alex. I'm just flushing my glove down the toilet. I'll be there soon.
Kia ora, welcome to The Real Pod. This is reality TV recapped. It's pop culture in Aotearoa. It's your host Jane Yee along with Alex Casey.
Hello there.
Duncan Grieve has abandoned ship.
Where's Duncan? Gone to a meeting.
This is us recapping the very last episode of Below Deck Down Under. I can't remember what it was called. I didn't write that down. I've just got finale written here. Well, we really lost our steam, didn't we?
It really does feel like that last week of work before Christmas type thing. Like we've checked out. We're having a nice time.
And we are Culver.
We are absolutely Culver. We can't even get the energy to put a mullet wig on.
It's called Drink Like No One's Watching, which is true of the last week of work.
That's true.
Before Christmas.
That's true.
You know, you're cracking the office beers at 11:30 in the morning. The boss is left early for his lovely family
Boss is gone.
cruise.
Boss has gone back to the Philippines. See Saskia.
Hey, if you want to talk about this or any other reality TV show or anything at all, really, you can join the Real Pod Corner, facebook.com/groups/Real Pod Corner. Also, if you're this way inclined, you can jump on the Discord, and the link to that is in our show notes. Right, Alex Casey.
Jane Yee.
The tide is 8 metres out. Oh, no. It's 9 metres out. It's 10 metres out. And the captain is on the radio asking everyone to get back on the boat.
Culver's out there on the jet ski with a bloody guest.
Having a lovely time. The dinghy's stuck. They have to transfer the guests via hot dog back to the tender.
Terrible way to travel.
I think travelling via hot dog, great, you know?
I think it's fun. It's funny. It made it seem like the guests were only on the beach for a minute.
Oh yeah, totally. They sat down, and I think I said this in the last episode. It showed them sitting down, and then 45 minutes later, they were
right.
food arrived at the table. So I do think there's definitely some creative editing going on. These guests are up for everything. They've got so much going on in this last charter. You've got scuba diving, a vow renewal, you've got a Mardi Gras, gay pride party, and you've also got very grumpy Jamie who's unravelling because he didn't get asked to go on the scuba diving trip.
It does look fun though.
Except for that, two of the guests are over the side vomiting into the water.
In tandem.
I think number one set number two off.
Yeah.
And number two might have been able to stay the distance had number one not started chucking her guts.
It was like a scene from Bridesmaids/Scary Movie, you know, where people just start vomiting in each other's faces. And I actually felt quite sick when I was watching it.
Same, because there's people in the water swimming around, and then they did a close-up of a chunk floating underwater.
That's burly, you know? That's burly for the stingrays, and it paid off.
So I'm into vomiting this season.
Yeah.
But anyway.
God, there must be a lot of vomit in the sea.
Yeah, but the sea's a big place for now.
I know, but imagine how much of it is vomit.
More poo, I reckon, than vomit.
Do you reckon?
5 mins. Not even 5 mins, probably, and we got to poo. Here we are. Thankfully, last episode of the season, last charter of the season. Vow renewal goes super smoothly.
Beautiful.
Lovely, beautiful time, celebration of love.
It's funny that that's part of the captain's job to do that as well. He started off kind of being like, I'm a man of the sea, I'm going to haul anchor, and now he has to be like, your love is eternal.
Well, look, I'm not sure this happens on your regular charter. It might be a bit of a TV thing, you know? It's Mardi Gay time. That's what they called it. And Benny puts on the barbecue, blows up his face.
Yeah, burns his eyelashes right off.
Well, he says he burnt his hair off and his eyelashes and his leg hairs, and it was a big explosion, to be fair. But, I mean, it looked to me like all the hair was still there.
You wanted to see
I wanted to see.
ECU on
Yeah,
there.
I did. Yeah, that's TV speak. That is
TV speak.
extreme close up. In case you didn't know.
He did get a fright, though, didn't we all? You know, he was like, I'm burnt.
It was, yeah. And whose fault was it? Was it Brittini's? Brittini was running around that little condom suit.
Yeah, I don't know. Who was in charge of the gas?
I don't know. Someone put the gas on and left it on for too long.
I fear gas.
Because you can't see it, can you?
I can't see it.
What kind of gas are we talking here, just quickly?
I fear that, like, barbecue gas. Okay. The other gas?
Fine.
Oh, good.
Famously in your family. Yeah, it's because you can't see it. So you're like, I don't know how much is out there. I'm just going to put a flame to it and
something you won't know. Sometimes you won't know.
Until your eyebrows are gone.
Yeah, exactly. Scary.
I don't think we heard Brittini talk much about it, but she did run her hand under some cold water, so presumably she also got a bit burnt, but just didn't make as big of a song and dance about it for 2 days.
Oh, Benny. He's a fragile soul.
I like Benny. I'm
like
so
Benny
glad
too.
he made it to the end. He really grew.
He did.
The captain is really impressed with Benny as well because he didn't have a big sulk, just like a little sulk. You know, and he's like, in the old days, Benny would have been off the boat after something like that. He would have been quitting. For this Mardi Gras party, Aesha, Jamie, Culver, Brittini, Taylor, they've gone all out. Toomey, just a bit of pink fabric thrown over his shoulder.
That's right. But she gives herself over to the table.
She does,
You know,
that's
she
true.
leaves it all on the table.
As I was saying it, I understood. Benny's up there spinning the decks.
Of course.
DJ Lazy Susan. It's really amazing that we spent 2/3 of the season not even knowing he had this in his arsenal,
know.
and then suddenly it's all he's doing.
He stepped into his potency. Do you think it was when he was allowed to let DJ Lazy Susan out that Benny became whole?
Oh my God, it's
and,
true.
And became better.
Benny's not Benny without Susan.
You bring your whole self to work. That's what people say.
Something to think about.
And Culver, meanwhile, knocking back the drinks.
Yeah, no, Culver's only got 1/3 of himself at work. The other 2/3 are drunk.
Yes.
And on a completely another planet.
Back at the ranch. No, what's that place called?
Bradbury Compound.
Bradbury Compound.
Culver is so keen to get out of here. He's been told by Jamie that the captain has a target on his back. It hasn't gone down too well, and Culver's like, fuck it. Last charter, I'm allowed 1 drink. To me, that's more like 8 drinks, really.
Yeah. He just was not stopping. Drinking like a fishbowl.
Put them away. I don't even know if it was Kevin Stone. What's that his name?
Keith Stone.
Keith Stone? Or I don't know who. It was one of the many mullet characters.
Yeah.
Was out.
Rocking about. And the captain just kind of quietly was like, maybe go to bed.
Yeah.
Maybe go to bed, Culver.
Yeah.
And he went, okay.
Yeah.
It's quite sweet. I actually quite like the way that Captain Jason manages people. I
Yeah.
think it's very gentle and nice.
What is
means I
that?
have to leave. That's my alarm to leave.
Okay. What happens now? Okay.
I can stay for 5 more minutes.
Okay, 5 more minutes. That's all we need.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Talofa lover, I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spin-Off. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spin-Off member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
God,
God,
you
sorry,
really
that's a
thrown
real
me.
curveball, isn't it?
Real
God
curveball.
almighty, doing it live.
Let's talk about Benny just quickly. Went into the chain locker, flaking that shit like a pro. Congratulations, you have passed yachting school. The guests pack up. They dock one last time. Brittini drives a boat for a little bit. The only member of the crew, captain, is allowed to do that. And then they have their last line-up. Lots of hugs for the guests, some tips. Captain gives Culver a pretty chill dressing down.
There's no point, you know. It's
Yeah,
all
and then
over.
Culver's like, well, Jamie said that you've got a target on my back. And immediately, Captain does what Captain has done throughout the whole season. Blames Jamie for everything. Like, I'm starting to be like, maybe Jamie has a wee bit of a point, because the captain immediately was just like, oh, well, then that's Jamie's fault. He shouldn't have told you. That's not going to motivate you,
I don't
is
think
it?
Jamie should have told him that. I think Jamie should have just been like, hey, watch what you're doing, pull it together for the final charter. Don't say...
Captain's kind of picked up on his things. Do yourself a favour and just pull up your socks.
But it makes it more seem like Jamie doesn't want Culver to make him look bad, rather than like he actually wants Culver to do well.
Anyway.
He says it like that. Anyway.
Another moment of, I'm just bearing in mind.
I've got to go.
You got to go. But Ben gets the helmet again. It's another period of growth for him because...
And it's a bookend of the season.
It is, yeah.
Isn't it?
He started off with the helmet, was not happy about it. Now he understands that it's about learning and
It's about reflection.
Yeah.
A lot of reflecting.
Heaps. All over.
that.
In all directions.
All over the room.
Then we have a lovely dinner. Jamie is taken off for some helicopter training after this, which is good because the captain is big-upping Brittini for growing this season, and while he big-ups her, he says, Culver, Jamie, I don't know where their future is in yachting, but you have a future in yachting, Brittini. What an unnecessarily rough thing to say.
I know, I could have just left them out, but...
They go off to Magnum's. Aisha's bouncing Toomey's boobs and spilling a drink. Taylor goes to give Jamie a hug, knocks his drink. He gets super aggro about it.
Angry.
He was still annoyed about the captain saying that.
Yeah.
Earlier, Aisha was talking about cooches and calling Toomey a dumb slut. I mean, this is all extremely HR problematic.
Yes.
Right?
Last week of school. It's all happening.
Very, very much.
When Nate and Brittini, they were like, someone needs to hook up before the end of the season.
So they have a pash.
But it was like I didn't want to see Nate in that environment.
No. Hey, good cook though, good chef.
He's a bloody good chef.
R.I.P. Ryan.
I know.
You know?
Ryan who?
I mean, maybe not in peace. Maybe we don't want him to rest in peace. Maybe we want him to cook in happiness is what we want. C-I-H. Catchy. And then that's it. That's kind of the roundup. I'll give you the postscript. Toomey and Aesha taught Taylor to have fun. Nate left with the captain's recommendation. Benny's off to do his dive master. Toomey's able to be herself on this season. Culver was able to bring priceless entertainment to the guests. Brittini has seen the potential of a career in yachting under the captaincy of Jason. Captain Jason says he needed Jamie. Jamie was his support. And that made Jamie feel good, which is a nice way to live. And, of course, Aesha is the captain's lost leg. He's proud of her growth in the first season as chief stew. Well, she is. Someone's proud. And then as she leaves, Captain honks the horn, gives her a hell of a fright, and she yells out, "Love you, bitch!" And that's it.
Unbelievable. And then we see the captain
reuniting with Saskia
after all this time at his resort in the Philippines.
Just very briefly, because you have to go.
I have to go.
How would you, any last words on the season that was Below Deck Down Under season 1?
I would say it's very hard for me because Med was such a coup in my life. It came at a really pivotal point in my personal journey, and I really, really love the Med franchise. And I'm not sure Down Under is...
It's not captured it in the same way, has it?
It's not quite there, but it does have its own Antipodean charm. I will say that.
I think it's actually probably a good one to start with now. To be fair, like if you're new to the franchise, start with Down Under, then go to Med. You know?
Maybe there's something in like that they kind of mirror their locations and the people, the captains maybe, I don't know. But Jason is a more gentle energy, and I do feel like that's kind of been reflected through the season and the charters. But loved it. If they bring it back, I will definitely watch it again.
I'll watch it again. I think the difficulty with us recapping this particular show was the time in which we recapped it. So many other TV shows were going on, so it just meant our concentration was split.
Yes.
Also 17 episodes, which seems a lot.
It does seem
just dial it back a little bit and you've got a perfect show. Perfect show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us on this season. We are off to party before we jump back on board next season.
Maybe.
For a whole lot of chatters, maybe. We'll see.
See how we go.
Hey, thank you, Ethan, for recording. Sorry this was so spelt, but Alex has
I
to
really
go.
do have to go.
All right. We'll be back anyway next week with the carry on of Block and CTI and all that. Okay. We're never far away. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Jane.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spin-Off member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spin-Off Podcast Network.